complained about how American corporations are running out of this country, but moaning and groaning all the way, acting like they're the besieged group, which they are because they're making so much money. Let's look at how horribly the government is acting right now and what the government is doing, and a typical situation. West Virginia. I'm sorry, I look off to the side. I just can't believe it. You know, Hillary Clinton calls these people the deplorables. I assume that's all part of her definition. She backed off, but that's obviously how she's thinking. That's how a lot of Democrats are thinking because they came out and said, yeah, they're deplorables. What's deplorable is how horrible our government has been. Let's look at West Virginia. In the early 70s, when we had those gas lines, President Carter and the Congress pushed through all these tax breaks to encourage coal to be mined so we could become energy independent. Nobody was looking at the climate then. It was we needed gas, we needed electricity. We were getting strangled by the Arabs at that point. The market hadn't changed. Ended up there was a lot just kind of sitting off in the water that they didn't want us to use. That was the oil companies having a good time back then, or whoever was involved in that. But that's a different issue. But we encouraged all this. So now we realize that there is climate change, and it's much better to be green in the long run. The government, we've talked about this for years. Plants grow on the sun. Everything grows on the sun. We need the sun. The sun is great. The environment is great. You utilize that in conjunction with yourself as a partnership so you can get energy and make it work. Green energy, it's got to work. It's even more powerful if we get real batteries. You've heard that from me 100 times. We'll get to that another time. But green energy is what matters. So what do? We go and pump all this money into green energy. And then who cares about the West Virginia coal miners? So for like the last, 10 years, 10 years, it's like, hey, cut them off. Cut their companies off. How many have gone bankrupt? 5, 6, almost all of them. Let's just cut them off. Boom, 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 boom. At any time, did you hear this administration, or how many of the politicos did you hear say, gosh, we got to go green, but we got to take care of our American workers. Our American workers in West Virginia, who we encourage to go and mine coal. We got to help them. We got to make sure we're looking out for them. What are we doing to be concerned about the future? Not what are we doing with all the money that's being given to us so we can get more money and live good and fly around and kind of do what we want to do because we don't worry about people. What do we do? Now we're going to turn these people into deplorables. They should have seen that 20, 30 years ago. Crazy. So where are our politicians? No forethought. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now all you hear about are all these new supposed plans that are going to be happening. But you don't hear about what is going to be the result of those plans. Not that, of course, it's going to be successful, because all these government plans are successful. What you're not going to hear, is what if it goes wrong are we going to do? Or even if it goes right, how are we going to take care of those who are going to be adversely affected? Those Americans. Have you heard one word about that? No, it's easier to cut them off at the legs and call them deplorables. And that's what we did in West Virginia. This is America. We got to care about Americans. We got to think about the future. And if all you're thinking about is the past or the amount of money that's going into your pockets, then you're not worried about the people. You're not leading, and that's why the people get so angry. And yeah, I'm pretty angry too. But it all works out. Peace.